Welcome back, YouTube. So a common question is right now is since the whale dumped or since we had this minor retracement, is the run over? Does this mean that we're going back to 8 cent? And I want to quickly remind everyone exactly what happened during the last bull run. And I remember where I was and what I was thinking as well, because I was buying Doge. My most aggressive, even to this day, was between 2 cent and 5 cent. And I remember even the people that had got in so much earlier, or even like a lot of the some of the influencers at that time were saying that, hey, it's over. After we had this bigger run here, they're saying that all the money had been made. And even a few of them, some very popular ones, said that we wanted to be talking about Doge in the next few years. That turned out very interesting. And we had this run, and we came down here, and this was pretty much the people were trying to read the eulogy for Dogecoin after we came off of this run here. We had about 40-50% correction, and we had this sideways movement, and the talk of the town was it was going back below a penny, and if you were getting in now, it was over, and you're basically donating your money to liquidity. And that was the tone. And of course, we had the sentiment for the community was just forming. It wasn't anything like it is now. Even with like Elon or Catalyst, it was just a matter of if you believed or if you didn't, right? That it came down to the fundamentals, almost like the early days of Bitcoin. It was like if either you believe in this or you don't, and we know you'll have to kind of see if you're right later, right? So, and that was really the tone. And we had this correction, and we had this, well, really this people taking profits, right? That's really what it was. People had got in at less than a penny. They had seen tremendous gains, and of course, when you see a sell-off here, this is why all these red days are here. When you see someone with a larger account take profit, especially if you're newer in the coin, it's easy to scare you out. And you'll see that people that are purchasing in between, I say, like around the 18 and 20 cent range, when things like this happen over like last 48 days, whether we have a witching and there is a great shuffling going on in the market, or we have a whale sell, it becomes very easy to kind of get, I won't say tricked out of your position, right? Because the whale bought back in, and he's still long over in overall in the asset. So that should tell you something right there. Even when we look at the shorts earlier in this morning's video, we can take a look at them again in a moment. They're not taking positions. So it's a lot of you can say there's a lot of clues, like there will be signs that's happening. So I wanted to just kind of take a look here and show you the path that it is easy for. I'm going to say it's easy, but it's a path for Dogecoin going to a dollar, and we're actually repeating what we've seen before. And if you take a look at that, you'll see that we, trend wise, if we're looking at the correction that we've had here from like the initial leg up, we're somewhere in this range here. And if you look at the initial leg, you'll say, okay, well, we have the halving come up, and we have the first leg is obviously done. We'll take a look at current price action in a moment. This is 2021. Um, we have the initial correction came up, right? We have around 40%. And we have to kind of keep in mind that this bull run on average is 18 months. And even when I see some of my subscribers, I have a little over like 74,000 roughly. Even when I see the comments or messages and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, throwing in a towel, it's over, it's over. The bull run has started like less than 2 months ago, less than 30 days ago, really, if you want to be specific. But if you keep it in that in mind, we have well over a year before before we even get to the conclusion or even start thinking about the conclusion of the bull run. We haven't even have evidence of peak. We haven't even hit peak Bitcoin, let alone peak altcoins. And Bitcoin typically runs first. What we're in the area right now, as far as some meme coins running alongside Bitcoin prior to having, is absolute madness. This has never happened in the history of crypto. So I just don't understand that sentiment of people throwing in the towel and saying, "Oh my God, it's over." We're literally just getting started. That I can literally say with confidence, we're in this range right here. And I don't think we'll have this because of the amount of people that's actually in the coin right now, and we have all the catalysts. I don't think we're going to have this sideways movement for that long. I highly doubt it. As a matter of fact, just the aggressiveness of the current trend. This is what I meant by Doge has never done that 9 out of 10 day green period that we've done currently. But I believe that we're somewhere here, and we're going to see this time frame here where this plays out, and we have that parabolic movement. Even if you're looking at the catalyst that comes in, whether that be for utility, the market growing, FOMO, the because even with the utility around X, it's multifaceted. You have the biggest thing is going to be removing those coins from the float, and I believe the biggest thing that is to kind of solve the coins coming back to the market, because we saw where the 87 million Doge came back to Robinhood, is kind of, you have the brokerages that short, and then they have the ones that kind of sell back into the market. So typically, if you want to sell, you say, or if you don't have a use for it because it's not necessarily utility, I want to use it and convert it back to fiat, you give it back to the exchanges. But that faucet for X is going to have that the ability to say, and I believe Elon's going to have a wallet on there because it only makes sense. And then when those coins remove themselves from the exchanges, when they're bought or they leave the miners' wallets, they're not going to go back to the exchanges. And that is going to be the true power behind the sustainability of a lot of these runs, and as far as where we're going to consolidate even after the conclusion of this bull run. I want to take, before we go to current price action, I want to show you something here. Let's go to the 1 day. Why isn't this pulling up? Oh my God, it's too small. Hold on. So, let's go to shorts. Shorts are not piling in. And this is what I made a post on Reddit and my X account, is over the last few days, if you were long, over the last few weeks, if you were long or short in Dogecoin, you got wrecked. The only people who won are the people who held. And you only saw a small fluctuation in your account. I'm going to actually pull up I'm going to switch over to Twitter because I want to actually show you guys this, because I believe it's really the power of the coin here. And when you think about, people who use leverage, or I know how it's easy to say, oh my God, I want to magnify my gains. It gives you something to kind of keep in mind. So let me make sure you guys can see that. Okay. So if you are, I really like this. So if you're invested in Doge 1 month ago, you'd be up 76.43% right now. If you invested in Doge 6 months ago, you'd be up 143.8%. If you invested in Doge year to date, you'd be up 68.56%. If you invested in Dogecoin 1 year ago, you'd be up 97.39%. If you invested in Doge 5 years ago, you'd be up 7,470%. And if you invested in Doge from the start, you'd be up 25,133%. We just witnessed shorts getting wrecked, followed by longs getting wrecked, while holders saw a fluctuation on their account for less than 24 hours. Leverage can be very dangerous, and Doge will bite back. And that is pretty much what we've seen here. I'm going to go back to the charts here, because it's very important to realize what we just witnessed. The only people who won really over the last week has been the people who held the coin. And you'll see Doge has done exactly what we're talking about around this 15-cent level holding. It's pushing its way back up. This is exactly what we were talking about. And I know I saw the comments saying, oh, 15 isn't going to hold. Like artificially, yeah, they were able to push it down by dumping a weak supply of Dogecoin on the market. But what happened? This is the testament to why I believe, this solidifies why I believe Dogecoin is going over $1, is because you are seeing these massive expansion. These shorts are liquidating, dumping onto the market. What happens? They get bought up. Whales are dumping onto the market. What happens? It gets bought up. Like, this is why Dogecoin is going to do absolutely phenomenal in this bull run. You're seeing a lot of evidence here right before you, when you make the argument saying that, oh, the block rate is high, or the block rate is the reason why it's not going to go. They're adding, like, sometimes quadrupling the block rate for a singular day, and the community is saying that's an opportunity, and they're buying it up. Like this is you're getting evidence that this run is going to be far stronger than the run that we saw previously. So it's really, really, I'm loving how this is panning out as far as for how early it's running and the strength that we're seeing even at these levels. So let me go to the short chart because I want to just show you guys, because you guys know I covered the options and the shorts here. This is when shorts piled in. This is when they got bent over, right? And then even the longs in the absolute in the chart here, they were coming in, using leverage, which is pretty much like doing the opposite of what a short is. And then they get bent over. Like the best position that you could have been in over the last few weeks is simply holding the coin. If you were holding Doge, you saw it go up to around 21 cent, and then you saw it go down to around 14, 13, and then now it's back at the consolidation point at 15. That's all you saw, right? Regardless of what your average is. No one forced you out. You weren't forced to liquidate your position. You didn't have to get out because you were upside down. It was just a matter of, I own this coin outright. I can hold till the end of time if I want to. There's no broker breathing down my neck saying, hey, you owe us money or you're this far negative. None of that stuff is going on. These are the people that really won over the last week. And this is one of the advantages of when you own something outright, right? You can look at it similar to, financing a house or something, like or credit cards, anything. It's better when when you have it, it's yours. You're not pressured by the market to get rid of it because you've overextended yourself thinking it was going to do something, and it turns against you. And that's really one of the best positions you can be in overall in the market. I'm going to take a look here at overall, because if we take a look at the first chart, what am I doing? Let's go regular price action. If you take a look here at the first chart, when I was saying that, if even a thumbnail, you were saying, okay, you are here. So what we're looking at here is the consolidation point, leg one, right? We had a few legs in that initial period, but obviously that was driven by that we're getting ready to go into peak bull run. So we had more parabolic movement. I think that we're going to build strength in the legs throughout this run here. And I think this is going to propel us to really over $1. Obviously, we can keep track of buying pressure, selling pressure, long, short. So there's many indicators to kind of we can keep a track on to give us an idea of kind of where the trend will be weakening and where we see a major reversal. And obviously, those are things that I'll cover and share with you guys here. But as of right now, the evidence is showing that we are just getting started. This is simply really leg one. If you want to count it, technically, you can say leg two. But this is really just the beginning here. We are not in peak bull run. We have plenty of time left. So I don't know why this thing, as far as rushing it, saying it needs to moon or we need consecutive green candles and to go straight to 25 cents and stuff like that. It's never happened. It's not going to happen like that. Bitcoin doesn't happen like that. Bitcoin tested the $40,000 range. We charted it the other day 9 times before it broke above it. Like, come on, guys. Like, we have the time here, patience with the PAY in the beginning, right? So we are the zone right now is obviously that 15 to 18 range. That's going to be our indicator that we're going above it. Obviously, where we close, I think we're going to close above the 15 range today, which is absolutely perfect. That aligns with what we've been charting over the last few weeks. And the next 24, 48 hours is going to be great because what we've done while we're in that zone above 15 is we've consistently tested the 18 range. So what we are doing is knocking on that door to break above it. And I think that will more than likely continue. We will see if there'll be any more corrections going into, but I believe that the positions typically when the contracts expire on Fridays for like witching, you'll see the swaps are typically done Monday, Tuesday, and the positions, the strategies of all that are put in place for what they're going to do throughout mid-year to stay on track for their goals. So as we have ETFs come into the market, I believe that's going to more align with the aggressiveness that we see throughout witching in the stock market. So I believe like Monday, Tuesday, we'll have more normal price action here, but we're read through the weekend like we talked about in the options video. Very common during this time. If you don't remember anything else from this video. Remember that they're going to do another round of this in September. And September is much more bloody than the first quarter, because September is last time to make adjustments to hit those end of the year goals. So, that's either a cause for celebration or a cause for panic, depending on how they're progressing. So, they may be, so especially if crypto is doing really well, that's really how you can kind of get peak bull run, is because if they're underperforming in stocks, you'll see this switch here, like, oh, we're not going to hit our profit goals here, but crypto has been running all year. Then you see that big push of institutional money come in, and then crypto goes to the heavens. So that's kind of what we talked about during the previous bull run. Those things can typically happen here, like those major adjustments, but I'll save that for another video. Right now, the best thing is we are doing absolutely phenomenal buying up those dips. The trend isn't weakening. You guys know what a weaker trend looks like. I showed it in the Ethereum. Not picking on Ethereum here, but you see these candles here? That's a weakening trend. So you can see this, like this here predicts this a mile away. When you start getting candles like that, you can expect there to be a liquidity grab from somewhere. But that's not the case for Dogecoin right now. Even that's not the case even for Bitcoin right now. And to be fair, I'm not picking on Ethereum again. Ethereum had a better run. Like this, this run here is absolutely ridiculous. It deserves a break. I'm not picking on Ethereum. I own Ethereum. It is absolutely amazing. But I'm not picking on it by any means, but you can just see evidence of a trend reversal here, and the run getting tired, and people looking to purchase a little lower. But after this run here, again, it deserves a break. But that run is different from obviously like a Doge or Bitcoin. So even if we look at Dogecoin here, obviously that's not the case. So these candles, yes, we had 9 out of 10 days. So this is why I wasn't I wasn't actually concerned when we had this breakdown here. We reached down to like 12 and we had some liquidity and came back up to the 15. When you run like this, you deserve a break. It is very common. You can't run for almost 2 weeks and then like, oh my God, a red day, it's over. Like, come on. Like, you have to align your strategy with what you say you're investing. If you're investing long term, don't look at the charts like you're trading. It doesn't make sense, right? So with that being said, I believe we're absolutely on track for $1. I believe everything is a go. The last 48 hours has proved, and I'm even more confident right now in this trend and this run. I'm actually excited for what the future holds. Hope you guys are too. If you found value in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check, maybe you thought you were and you're not. We're going to hit 100,000 subscribers this year. I'd love to have you in that number. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.